Medical Dialogues Journal Club, your daily dose of health and medical news. I'm Mr. Zaman, and here is what we have for you all from the world of medicine. High risk of serious blood clots until 6 months post COVID-19 infection. There could be a high possibility of occurrence of deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, and bleeding events for up to 3 months, 6 months, and 2 months respectively after COVID-19 infection, according to a recent Swedish study published by the BMJ. Deep vein thrombosis is characterized by a blood clot that usually occurs in the leg. Pulmonary embolism, on the other hand, is the blockage in one of the pulmonary arteries by a blood clot. The findings also show a high risk of events in patients with comorbidities or patients with more severe COVID-19 and during the first pandemic wave compared with the second and third waves. The researchers say that these results support measures to prevent thrombotic events, especially for high-risk patients, and strengthen the importance of vaccination against COVID-19. It is well known that COVID-19 increases the risk of serious blood clots known as venous thromboembolism, but less evidence exists on the length of time this risk is increased, if the risk changes during the pandemic waves, and whether COVID-19 also increases the risk of major bleeding. To address these uncertainties, researchers set out to measure the risk of deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, and bleeding after COVID-19. Using national registries in Sweden, they identified more than 1 million people with confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection between 1st of February 2020 and 25th of May 2021, matched by age, sex, and country of residence to more than 4 million people who had not had a positive SARS-CoV-2 result. The results showed that compared with the control period, risks were significantly increased 90 days after COVID-19 for deep vein thrombosis, 180 days for pulmonary embolism, and 60 days for bleeding. After taking into account a range of potentially influential factors, the researchers found a 5-fold increase in the risk of deep vein thrombosis, a 33-fold increase in the risk of pulmonary embolism, and an almost 2-fold increase in the risk of bleeding in the 30 days after infection. This is an observational study, so the researchers cannot establish the cause, and they acknowledge several limitations which might have affected their findings. For example, the VTE may have been underdiagnosed in patients with COVID-19. Testing for COVID-19 was limited, especially during the first pandemic wave, and information on vaccination was not available. That's all for today. Stay tuned to Medical Dialogues for latest updates.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.